Welcome, Bree. Welcome, everybody. Okay, you're chilling with Decolonization for Dreamers, our free New Moon community training series, both live and asynchronous, recorded for you. We've got today a special guest, Caffrey J, founder of Hip Hop for Change, master grassroots organizer, MC, brother, father, community member, activist, organizer, pulling folks together to pull the resource together in so many beautiful ways. So it's an honor today to have Caffrey with us. And you notice behind us, we're in the Hood Hippie Gardens, we're in Ogun's Forest, and inspired by Caffrey J. I don't know if you saw the Huda episode of our last full moon where Caffrey's doing Plant Some Justice. And so we use some grassroots organizing to get some funds for Black spaces to grow our gardens back here. We're sitting on a ½ acre and we're trying to be eating food from it and loving it up. And yeah, so it's an honor to be here with you and an honor to be here in some action inspired by what you be up to in the world.
Word. It's a blessing to be here. Thank you for giving me the platform to speak. And to be quite honest, you know, I love the opportunity because for me, and when it comes to the people, the game is to be told and not sold. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to everybody else, I'm selling it. You know what I'm saying? They got to pay for the work. But when it comes to people who are trying to build social justice and make change, it's like my duty to pass on this education that I got from my experience, you know, hustling. I've been hustling for a long time, you know what I'm saying? I come from Hunters Point, San Francisco, so I grew up in a hustling culture. But it wasn't until I saw like the way it works in different businesses. Like back in the day, I got caught up selling perfume, business to business. And that was a unique experience. Hard job, I was real good at it. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, walk into a business and say, hey, you like to smell good, you know? But I've sold crazy things before. I sold knives. But I don't think it was until I worked at Greenpeace where I learned what that hustle can really build, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think it was until I started Hip Hop for Change until I realized how important grassroots activism has been for people of color and people who have been disenfranchised from, you know, the normal politics and, you know, the normal ways people engage are the normal ways the majority engages in the body politic. So yeah, first off, my name is Caffrey J, founder and executive director of Hip Hop for Change. I'm also coming to y'all from Occupy the Lonely Land, right here in Emeryville. And I just want to start off doing a little icebreaker with everybody. So I want you and Monty to answer this. And Bree, if you don't mind unmuting your mic one time to answer this. If you, and I know, Amani, you're already doing food justice, so you can't say food justice, but if you could solve one other issue in your community besides, you know, putting food in people's stomachs, what would that be? And what's the main thing that would hold somebody back from accomplishing that? I'm gonna start with you, Bree. So what issue in your community would you like to solve? And what do you think is the main thing holding people back from solving it?
Accessibility.
Word. Accessibility to what, for example?
Well, I'm disabled, so that looks different for different people, but like a lot of physical spaces are not accessible. A lot of really good work that's getting done that could benefit a lot of people can't show up. It's unfortunate, like a lot of urbanized areas where the services are built for like cars and not bodies. So like there's places where you can go and do the work, but it's really hard to like bring that work to the people that need it.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think is the main thing holding us back from solving that problem?
Just honestly, just the way the world's built, like just this idea that that there's an ideal body and that's what everything's built for. Like, yeah, it's white supremacy. Totally. And then it's like, but what that looks like, it's not just like white, it's also like what kind of white.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got this awareness issue, right? And that's what I often talk about. Nonprofits only need two things. One is social capital, right? Knowledge, being able to share that and get it to people's heads. The other is resources. So when you're talking about, you know, people just not being in that space, right? Those blind spots that society creates and fosters in people where they sit back smug and think this is the way it should be or the way it is. right? It's just about getting that awareness to them, right? So that's one thing that we need. I guess the other thing, what we need to actually make the physical space accessible. Resources, right? Most of the time, it's just resources. So that's the interesting thing about most issues in social justice. They boil down to two things: social awareness, social capital, resources. How about you, Amani? What would you do? Any other thing? I know you already do like 80 million things, man. So it's kind of a weird question. So
it's a big question, man. If I had to choose one thing, man, I think since we're here on this land, yeah, in this Chochenyo territory, it's something like housing and access to land that we are creating a sense of belonging with. So I don't know exactly what it looks like in terms of like ownership and in terms of how the Chochenyo folks are involved in that, but some process where folks are being supported and having the practical, tangible, and spiritual, intellectual, psychic experience of like, I can be here, I belong here, being here like nourishes me. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you build spaces like that anyway, right?
That's right.
So you know, in general, there's a lot of people that want to build spaces like that, and you know, I'm not gonna be facile with it, but we all know that what holds us back in capital spaces, spaces of capitalism, is not having resources. We've got to be able to play the game. It's quite unique, you know. I do my job doing grassroots street fundraising, and sometimes I'll run into a person of color and they're like, bro, why don't you stay in a Black neighborhood? I'm like, I get it. Well, first off, we know we're beautiful people. So, you know, that's not what my job is when I'm doing education about us being beautiful. And two, we've got to take back our resources, right? The resources that were built on the bodies of our ancestors. So it's really important for us to do this grassroots work. And, you know, essentially what grassroots organizing is a movement that uses people in a given district, region, or community as the basis for political and economic movement. Grassroots movements and organizations use collective action at the local level to affect change at the local, regional, national, and international level. Now, grassroots marketing, sometimes known as guerrilla marketing, it starts from the ground up. Instead of launching a message you hope will appeal to the masses, right? And this is what we're often like seeing when you come to hip hop, right? If you are Sony Universal and you're trying to sell, you know, culture, you can't sell like all the diversity. You have to sell what is the most likely and probable to sell, and that is always violence and sex in America. You know what I'm saying? So this is how people do their mass marketing. They're trying to appeal to everybody. That doesn't work when we're fighting racism. Right? We're not going to appeal to everybody. Matter of fact, we're going to dilute our message and we might not inspire the few people that we really need. Instead of launching a message you hope will appeal to many people, you target your efforts to a small group and you hope the group will spread your message to a much larger audience. That's what guerrilla marketing is. So, you know, let's go back in time, 2013, and Coffrey was pissed that no one was paying local positive hip hop artists and investing in their shows and events. It was only like the ones at the Fillmore was the Lil Yachty's and the Berts and whatnot. I was pissed, and I thought this was wrong, and I, you know, wanted to make a change. So the first thing that I needed to do was have this organizing structure, you know, to be able to not do fed time when the cops see me out there getting money on the street, you know. So you get the business and whatnot. And that's, again, we're in this world, we have to play the game. But the next thing was to get out there and get people on my side, figure out how am I going to get money to be able to fund this, right? Can I put a message online and everybody's going to feel me? Not really, but I learned this really magical skill set from being the first Black director for Greenpeace in their new iteration of grassroots fundraising in the 2000s. It's not the easiest to stand on a street corner looking like this.
I just gotta say that's very cool.
What's very cool?
That's my mama. She's impressed that you're the first Black director of Greenpeace. It's not easy to take credit cards on the street corner when you look like this. And back then we were like taking crayon impressions of their card and just putting it in our pocket. So it kind of looked funny too. Yeah, it's like, don't trip, don't worry, you're safe with me. And I'm standing on like downtown San Francisco
in the financial district. So, you know, it's unique. But I got really good at that. I got really good at preemptively explaining that I'm not going to rob you because I had to be good at that, right? But yeah, I became really good, and I ran that organization. I ran the San Francisco office for 3.5 years. Learned a really amazing skill set on how to inspire 20 to 30 activists, give them the skills, the training, the safety, and the comfort and knowledge to feel good standing out there, being, you know, advocates for social change, and pulling in, like, running a $500,000 office every year. So that was cool. But yeah, you know, once I got pissed about hip hop, I'm like, yo, I got this skill set where I can train 20 to 30 activists to raise a whole lot of money, you know, and we can do whatever we want. And back then I was actually, after I left Greenpeace, I was selling my CDs on Hate Street, right? And I would say, yo, come, you like hip hop, come holler at me, just like I was working at Greenpeace. And I got really good. I wasn't even rapping for people. I was like, yo, you come out here and spend, you know, $2,000 to come to my city and spend all your money at these crappy stores. Nobody's from San Francisco who owns these stores anyway. And I'm your one chance to spend some of your money in the hood. If you can't risk $20 on me, then I don't even know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even rap for people, and I was making about $100 an hour selling my own CDs on Hate Street. And people are like, "You're not gonna rap? Then how am I supposed to buy your CD?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm not gonna dance on these corners for nobody." You know what I'm saying? And that was just, you know, I'm not knocking anybody who performs, right? Performance is different in different ways, but I had a different job out there. You know, my job was rooted in the cause of people supporting who I am. And I found that I made way more money doing that, you know what I'm saying, faster and way less effort than if I would have had to be spitting bars on the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? It's just more lucrative. But yeah, it showed me something. It showed me that, hey, if I had took the same skill set that I learned and trained 10 to 15 people to move a mixtape CD on Hate Street, we could make enough money to do whatever we wanted. Anybody's show could be funded, right? We could fund any art project. We could do whatever we wanted. And that was it, man. I literally had that idea, and the next day it was go. I went out and started hustling my CD, and actually I pulled out a clipboard with one piece of paper that said, "We're gonna change the world." And I raised like $800, and I drove up to Sacramento. I incorporated, and I went back and I started canvassing on Hate Street, Ashbury, 24th and Noe, Chestnut and Steiner. Those were my 3 streets, and I stood out there 5 days a week. I raised 26 grand my first 7 months by myself before I got any coworkers, and y'all can do that too. That's only me raising $300 to $500-$600 a day at that point in time. But it works, and it allowed me to get that base of self-determination where I didn't have to go write grants and hope that these folks would think that this was the right thing for my culture and my community. It's really important. And I really want to stress the fact that historically, Black and brown people have never been, you know, welcomed into these political spheres. Everything that we've done has been grassroots, has been collectivized. You know, it's us relying on our people in our community. And so there's this principle of sales and marketing. You only need 100 fans, right? There's a lot of people that don't want to start a rap career because they think they're trying to be famous, right? Okay, good luck with that. That's why a lot of people stop. That's why a lot of people quit rapping. It's like they want to be famous, and that's cool. But you only need 100 fans to be successful at what you do. You know what I'm saying? Monetarily speaking, because you can be successful being an artist, just being you. That's where it should start. But you only need 1,000 fans to be pretty good, pretty well off. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't take that long. So it's really about that guerrilla marketing. That's the stuff that where you really get people on your side, where you don't water down your message. You tell them straight what time it is, so you can get that 100 fans that really vibe with you. It doesn't matter if you're rapping, if you're building a community garden, if you're trying to save hip hop, or if you're literally just saying, hey, I need some money for rent. Like, you can literally go get that on the sidewalk, and people will give it to you if you just talk to them and approach them right. So any questions on that before I get into actually how to do the canvassing?
Come on, bro. So many questions, but I think you're probably gonna answer them and take us, you know what I'm saying? I'm following you.
Word. Yeah, man.
God for you.
I want to step back a little bit too, And I want to show y'all how big grassroots can be. When I left Greenpeace had 15 offices open nationwide, right? 15 grassroots offices. Um, Man, it was pretty crazy. Even when there was a big blizzard called Snowmageddon, and they flew me out to help out the East Coast region. During Snowmageddon, I was canvassing in sleet, and I didn't even know what sleet was. It was just like hitting my face, and I was like, "Yo, come on, yo, we're gonna save the earth." It was crazy. But these offices are high performing. There was about 500 people being employed at that time by Greenpeace to do grassroots canvassing. I wish they were paid more. I wish they were invested in more. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of why I do what I do at Hip Hop for Change now, because I've seen those kind of work environments. But 15 offices open, people are having 30 to 40 conversations each every single day, right? They're raising about $32 million every single year for Greenpeace USA, right? And they have that at the beginning of the year to share, like, okay, this goes to forests, this goes to, the whale campaign, this goes to nuclear campaign. Imagine when you can get a nonprofit surrounded around food justice in Oakland that has, people getting paid, to go talk about it, educate, social capital, get resources, and then we're funding how many gardens? Well, that's planting justice. That's what Planting Justice does. They're like kind of like a sister organization to Hip Hop for Change, I imagine. You know what I'm saying? They're the only other organization I donate to. But yeah, man, they literally work with people. They go out on the street, they take donations, and they build community gardens. People like gardens, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they want this space to feel like they can make change in the world, because sometimes you turn on the media, it looks so ugly. So when I come out and I see you smiling, I'm you like, yo, come, let's build a garden, let's feed the people, let's feed the babies. Like, there's like a 90% chance I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But we have to have that experiential moment for me to know what's going on. And that's that social capital element, right? So that's why grassroots organizing and grassroots fundraising is really important. So it has 4 main parts, y'all. The first part is stopping people, right? The second part is actually pitching them. The third part is what we call response cycles. And the fourth part is getting that money, all right? Getting that money and getting those connections. So again, stops, pitching, educating, inspiring, response cycling, if necessary, and getting that money, all right? So a lot of people think about canvassing, they think it's like a difficult job, right? And for some people it can be. I argue that every job is difficult unless you put it and like made it relative to you and how you're gonna, handle yourself and prop yourself up and support yourself, right? Like, I imagine being a barista in Montclair. I couldn't handle that. I don't think I could do it. But for some people, that sounds like an easy job to them. You know what I'm saying? I would pull my hair out. You know what I'm saying? I lose my job the first day. But yeah, I think my job, especially, hiring people who have never done this kind of grassroots fundraising before. Some people are scared. Some people, they literally haven't found a job in weeks and they just need an option, right? I literally get people who come because they're struggling. And my job is to say, hey, yo, this is a good job, right? I know you hear that this job is hard, but it's actually not. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make it relative for you, and I'm gonna show you your power, and I'm gonna show you what you can really do in these streets. And it's gonna be something that you're gonna take with you, and you'll never be able to shake it. It's gonna be with you for the rest of your life. This hustle, right? And this innate belief in your ability to make it when you need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I'll ever have a problem again because of how hard my hustle game is now. If the whole world blows up around me and it was just me, no clothes on, I would have clothes in 30 minutes. And then in 2 weeks, I'd have a spot to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, off the rip with nothing, because I got this belief in my mouthpiece and how to convey something to get people to support me as a human being. So the first thing is, it is hard to stop everybody. And that's what people always think. They think of this big, huge thing. Oh, I got to stop everybody. It's not hard to stop 30 to 40 people in 6 hours, though, right? It's hard to stop everybody. It's not hard to stop 30 or 40 people in 6 hours. You've got to know that. It's not called catching. It's called fishing, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not called catching. If it was called catching, people would be like, this is BS, man. I don't want to be here. This is boring. I ain't caught nothing. That's not what it is. It's called efficient, right? It's a whole different way. And that's why you gotta make it relative to you and your ability. So yeah, it's about laws of average, right? Laws of average mean the more people I try to stop, the more people will stop for me, right? The more people that stop for me, the more people gonna get this work. The more people that get this work, they're gonna give this donation, this support, right? And the more people that support me, the more emails and the more contacts and connections and networking I get. It's just the way it is, right? It might be hard to get 1 million fans and become, you know, Lil Wayne, but it's not hard to become a really big local artist. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. You know, it just takes a really solid hustle and being out there in those streets constantly. And after a while, you'd be surprised. I'm surprised to this day how many people know me and know what I do. I'm like, I'll never get used to it. You know what I'm saying? I'll never get used to it. 8 years ago, like I didn't know the whole hieroglyphics crew by face. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get all these like this alcohol. It's still weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still a super fan. But you can always get in these spaces. Anything you want to do, I swear, just put your mind to it and you can do it. All right. But laws of averages, just the more people you talk to, the more people will stop. The more people that stop, the more that'll donate. Here's the thought experiment for you. If I stand on a corner and I go like this, do you have $1? If I do that to everybody that passes me, just like that, do you have $1? Do you think I'll get $1 in 8 hours? I'll probably get it. Yeah. Do you have $1? Somebody's gonna be like, yo, forget it. Here's $1. In 8 hours, right? If I say it to every person that passes me on a busy street, I will get dollars. It's pretty easy to understand that, you know, you'll get money. But what if I put a smile on? What if I go, hey, you got $1? What if I do that for 8 hours, right? I'm gonna get more dollars. We all know that. And you might have never canvassed before, you might have never done street fundraising, but you know that if I smile, I'm gonna get more dollars. What if I go, hey, how you doing? Hey, you got $1? I'll probably get way more dollars just by that hello, how you doing, right? If I go, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Yo, I'm a little down on my luck. I need $1. I'm gonna get way, I'll probably get 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. If I say, yo, my name's Godfrey J, man, how you doing today? Yeah, good, man. I'm out here trying to get $1. Man, I've been going through it, but I'm gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? And if you got it, I need it. And you'll get way more dollars, right? If you stand up there and say, yo, my name is Godfrey J, what's yours? Yeah, man, I work for this organization. We're building community gardens out there. Because right now, most of these young kids who go to school in the hood, they go to school hungry, right? They go to school, you know, free lunches, yada, yada. What we're doing right now is organizing the people to build tracts of land where we can grow food and people can have majority access to it anytime they need. They can come in with their organization so they can take the food and cook and, yeah, you know, so I need you to donate the most money you've ever donated in your life to a random person on the sidewalk who looks like me. Can you donate $100? Most people ain't gonna donate $100, but I bet you your average donation will be around 25, right? You know what I'm saying? And I bet you'll get a $100 donation in that 8 hours as well. So this is what I mean by laws of averages. And also the dollar experiment shows you that this is not about some uniqueness in me, other than the fact that I'll put myself out there. This is about skills. It's just skills, right? You know what I'm saying? So if I add the skill of smiling, you know, while I might be uncomfortable standing on the sidewalk, I'll get more dollars. You know, if I try to push the distance back and make sure that I talk to people when they're about 30 feet away from me so they don't get spooked that there's black dude right in front of them, you know, and say, hey, how you doing? Yay, I'm trying to save the world. Then it gives them some time. And most people actually say, no, hey, I don't have time. And that gives me some time to be like, hey, don't worry, it just takes 2 minutes to help the hood and feed kids with vegetables. Talk to me, 2 minutes. Well, I just hit them hard. They're probably gonna stop now. You know what I'm saying? So this is all about skills. And actually there's a few stop skills that we teach. One is distance. The more distance back you have when you start talking to somebody, that means you have more time to charm them, to give them the game and whatnot. You know, you'll increase how many people stop for you that day. You also want to square up with the people you're talking to. A lot of times you'll see people fundraising and they got their backs on the wall and people are just walking by them. You know what I'm saying? Communication is 80% nonverbal. Some people say 90% nonverbal, right? So if I'm like, yo, come talk to me, but my back's on the wall and I'm like, oh, I don't look like I want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So you want to face people. You want to show them your energy. You know what I'm saying? You want to show them your whole body. You want to make sure your body language is as welcoming as you're trying to speak to them. So definitely square up and don't be a wallflower. You know what I'm saying? You also want to have that open body language. You want to be loud enough to hear, right? And you want to have a great stop line, with an assumptive tone. I'm going to spend a little time talking about stop lines. They're very, very important. All right. You know, sometimes I ask people, I say, what do you think a good stop line might be? And about 80% of people get it wrong. Well, what do you think a good stop line might be? Anybody want to try?
Stop lines, anybody?
Like if somebody was walking, if I'm walking down the street and you want to stop me, get me to stop talking, what would you say? I'm walking. I'm coming. You got to hurry up. You got to hurry up. I'm coming. I'm about to pass you.
Practice it right now.
I'm about to pass you.
Good. Hey, brother, how you doing, man? My name is Amani. What's your name?
My name's Coffee, man. I gotta go. What's up? I gotta go. What's going on?
I don't know what I'm
walking
for.
I'm gone. No, I'm gone, man. I'm gone. All right. Let's try it again. I'm walking. Come on. You got 20 seconds.
Brother, how you doing? My name is
good.
Amani, man. I'm wondering if you had like 30 seconds to just talk to me about food justice, about feeding the kids.
I'm hella busy. I'm hella busy, man. I gotta go pick up my daughter.
That's good, man. I'm glad that you thank you for being a father, man. We need that out here. Right. It would just take 30 seconds, man, to just talk to you.
There we go. You'd be a great canvasser. Did I freeze?
I stopped him.
Am I there?
For real? What happened? Okay, now you back.
I'm back, my bad. That's good. So let me tell you how to make it stronger. This is the most important thing. In life, in society, we have been taught to be smaller than we should be. You know what I'm saying? And we are perfect examples of people that have made our space and are still like, are able to stand strong in who we are. But even us, we're taught to be like, hey, do you have, or hey, can you, or hey, will you, or hey, we want to take all that out, right? Because number one, it's not my job to tell you that you have options. You know that, right? my goal is to tell you what I need in the best, most convincing way possible. So I'm only going to tell you what I need. Hey, I need you to holler at me, bro. Hey, bro, I got this work. I need you to get this. And it's that assumptive language. It's not open-ended. It's not like, yo, can you give me 30 minutes? Like, yo, I need 30 seconds to tell you about these gardens in the East. That'll stop somebody, right? Hey, do you got 30 seconds to talk to me about community? Nah. You got to understand, when you're out there on the street, most people aren't like us. You know what I'm saying? Most people aren't just going to hear their ancestors as soon as they hear vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Or social justice. Most people are in these like modes, and they all are used to people trying to hit them up for stuff. And they all have these like robotic responses they pull off their hip. Like, nah, I ain't got no time. Nah, I got to get my kid. Nah, I got to yada, yada. So we're trying to get people to step out of their robotic responses, you know, when they move from work to home, where they just got their shield guards up and whatnot. We're trying to pierce through that with our humanity. And we want to make sure that we're not softening our ourselves and our messages, you know, because that might appeal to the masses. We want to hit the 30 to 40 people that day hard. Yo, hey, I need you to come help me build these gardens. Give me 30 seconds. That'll resonate with 30 to 40 people. Hey, you got 30 seconds for, like, that will resonate with like 10, 15. You know what I'm saying? So the more assumptive you are, the more you are you, the more you throw out what you need, people resonate with that. People don't buy organizations, they buy activists. You know what I'm saying? People don't buy my script. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't buy the pitch that we give to everybody. They buy the people that say it. You know what I'm saying? They don't donate $150, $200 after a 3-minute conversation to me because they've seen the website, because they've seen the 501c3 status, you know, self-determination letter. They do that because they're like, yo, this dude believes in what the hell he's talking about. I believe him because he told me straight up what he believes. I fuck with this dude. Like that. That's why people donate that much. They don't donate because of written words. You know what I'm saying? They donate when you unequivocally and unapologetically and unabashedly tell people your inspirative reasons for wanting this to happen. And that's what canvassing is about. You only need 100 fans. right? You only need 30 or 40 people that day that'll rock with you. When I go out there and I have this in white supremacy shirt on, I say, yo, come help me fight white supremacy. Some people are like, you think that's the best stop line? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, first off, you should think that I know what the best stop line is, right? All right, right. Second, all right, because let's stop all that, right? But second, you got to understand, if I started this off, I was like, yo, come talk to me about activism and hip hop. Not that many people stop. Hey, yo, come talk to me about hip hop and brown babies. More people stop. Hey, yo, come talk to me about white supremacy. Way more people stop. Because what is the problem that we have? It's all white supremacy anyway, right? Whether it's patriarchy, whether it's homophobia, it's all Edwardian constructs of white supremacy and colonialism. Get out of here, right? So we want to make sure that we're out there unapologetically being us and telling people why our soul is inflamed, right? That's it. And that doesn't work with saying, hey, do you, right? Because that's not the spirit that you feel. Tell them, yo, I got this spirit. Come talk to me. That's what your stop line should be. My stop line when I talk to people, I'm like, yo, come talk to a Black man about white people for 2 minutes, right? I literally say that. I was standing on 4th and Hirsch yesterday with 2 other people. We raised $3,000 off that street in 6 hours, right? And the whole day I'm saying, talk to a Black man about white supremacy, right? Hey, and everybody says, when people say, no, I don't have no time. We have what's called a second chance stop line, which is what you did naturally in mine. You're like, yo, hey, no, just give me 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? It's good, right? And we do that. My second chance stop line is you can't pass a Black man in a white neighborhood in 2021 fighting social justice, right? Give me 2 minutes. And people are like, and you know, hey, for real, I'm not here for it, bro. I'm done with that. After George Floyd, man, my canvassing has been a little different. You know what I'm saying? After Ahmaud Arbery, it's been a little different. You know what I'm saying? But I've also never raised more money. Never. I've never raised more money in my life. And I've never seen trainees on their second day pulling $1,000, $1,200 off the streets. You know what I'm saying? I was so inspired yesterday. I was like, oh my God, all right? And we just started canvassing again for the 3rd day yesterday. That was our 3rd day canvassing back after the pandemic. So we're back at it, you know? But that is it. You've got to be yourself. You've got to be with that real assumptive tone. Like, tell them why you're passionate in your stop line. Yo, come help me fight white supremacy. I'm too Black for this shit, right? That's my stop line sometimes. People rock with that. They vibe with that. And they really do, because they can see my flame. And that's what people will pay money for, because they trust that. And people will invest in what they trust, all right? So you got the stop line. That being said, what would your stop line be right now, Money, if you could? Well, just hearing from what I said, if you had, I was walking down the street, what would your stop line be? Just real quick, I'm walking.
Yo, come talk to a Black dude about white people. Let's end white supremacy.
Bro. Hey, you got me. Like, what am I gonna say? Yo, what's up, man? What, you know? So what am I gonna say? And don't worry about being late. This is recorded. It's a space of love, and I still got a lot of game to give. But Amani, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like, how many people would resonate with that?
Yes.
You know? So most canvassers or most people are taught to be meek. They're taught to say, hey, do you have time to talk to me about this social issue? That doesn't help. You need 100 fans, and those 100 fans are gonna be behind you when they see your authentic self and they see the flame and the reason that you stand out on that sidewalk talking and fighting for change, right? Yo, come talk to me about white supremacy. Yo, come talk to me about babies having food in their stomachs when they go to school. Okay, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what a stop line is when you canvass. The next thing is a pitch, right? So we've already got the skills to stop people. We've already stopped the person. They're like, yo, I'll talk to you. What do you do, right? So the way that I learned this is truly less is more, right? Really a 1 minute to 90-second pitch is exactly it. If you go over, you start to bore people, right? If you go over, you start to explain so much that they lose their curiosity and they don't want to look you up online afterwards, right? That's really what it is. You want to give people short, like, little pieces of information that lets them know what's going on and why you're doing it, enough to know that you're doing what you're doing, and then also enough to make them want to get involved more, want to check you out, want to come to the next show, the next event, or whatnot. let's see, sorry. But yeah, less is more. Don't kill the curiosity. Um, what I learned from Greenpeace is to format your pitch. Well, I'm just gonna do it. So my name is Godfrey J from Hip Hop for Change. We got a big problem. Right now, 3 companies own 90% of the production of hip hop and the depiction of hip hop. They depict us as violent, criminal, misogynistic, and this is sold as entertainment to an 80% white audience. It's killing us, and we can see this in the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. This is the criminalization of Black and brown youth. So we're building hip hop and the means of producing at a level of authenticity that corporations will not be able to match. We taught 26,000 kids K through 12 by employing local artists, getting them fingerprinted, TB tested, and employed. We throw fat ass hip hop shows centered around themes of social justice to pay local artists who are too positive for the radio. And we've employed over 900 people with the activist jobs standing in neighborhoods we're not comfortable with to get all your money. All right. And you can donate monthly. Monthly really helps us stay stable. You can donate one time all, but when you donate to a random Black guy on the street, I think you should donate more than you've ever felt comfortable in your life. So we can hold space in places like this, but we can be the progenitors of a culture kids die or thrive in. And I got $1,000 to raise today. Can you do 100 or 200 of that? Boom. So that's my pitch. That's how I raise about 800 to $1,000 a day. I don't change my pitch very much for anybody. To everybody, it's the first time they've heard it, even if I've said it a million times, right? And that pitch, I've slowly changed it. Every once in a while, I'll say like something really cool. I'll be like, ooh, I like that, right? And I'll switch maybe a little line up. But for the most part, it's the same thing. It's a short, succinct thing. And the way that you format it and the way I've been taught to format it, it just really works. It's a problem, solution, victory, and strong ask format, right? First, you tell them about the problem, then you tell them about the solution in a macro so they can really understand how to solve that problem. And then you tell them about your victories or the way you're approaching that problem, right? And what you're doing. And then you ask them for all of their money. And notice I said, we need all your money. I didn't make as much as I make now until I started saying we need all your money. Like honesty is the best policy. Honesty. And there's one rule in hip hop: is keep it real, right? You know what I'm saying? If I could go out there and be like, "Yo, the sky is falling," and I'm gonna ask for some money. Like, remember, you're out there to get your biggest fans, and they want to see somebody who they know is a warrior for their causes, right? If I go out there, I'm valuing my movement. If I tell you the sky's falling, you got $1, that doesn't really match, right? But if I tell you the sky is falling, I need everything you have. I need to make the most uncomfortable donation. I would gladly make you destitute to save these babies, right? Like people appreciate that. They really, really do. And I would do everything I can to save these babies out here. So you want to say that. If you can unapologetically say, I need more money than you've ever felt comfortable, you'll get more money. People will really respect you and respect how hard you work for your movement, and they'll believe your movement because of how hard you grind for it. You've got to set the value of your movement by what you ask for and how you ask for it. So definitely ask high. I need all your money, right? And I always give them some kind of target. A lot of people just say, what can you donate? Don't ever let them pick the money, right? Don't let them pick the number, right? Why would you do that? All right. Because people, they have their own goals in mind, right? It's not that they're wrong, right? We're all dealing with living in a capitalist society. We're all scared, of the next paycheck or whatnot. And we don't want to demonize people for not wanting to stop or not wanting to donate. Like, you don't know people's struggles, right? But you definitely want to do everything that you can to inspire them to do as much as they can, right? So you want to tell them why. You want to give them your goals. You want to give them a target. You also want to value your movement. So I never get more. If you say, hey, do you got $20? You're going to get dollar bills all day long. But if I say, do you have $100 or $200? My average gift will be about $40. You know what I'm saying? Around there. It's just the way it is, right? I say, you got $100, $200. People are like, oh, hell, are you crazy? I say, no, I would gladly make you destitute to save babies in East Oakland. You know what I'm saying? If you can't do that, it's fine. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? but I always ask high. And then people are like, oh, I really respect that. They always say, I really respect that. You know what I'm saying? Or some people really like, hey, I got $200. I get a couple people giving me $100, $200 every single day because I asked for it. And you've got to let people surprise you. You gotta let people surprise you. I would have never gotten a guy in a Porsche to write a $5,000 check after a 90-second conversation if I didn't ask him for the world. I just randomly told him, yeah, we're trying to raise like 15 G's for this thing. And my goal is $1,000 today. Can you do 1 to 200? He said, I got 5 on it. And I was like, okay. And I walked in his car, he wrote a check for $5,000. I was like, oh my God, right? You know, but you've got to give people that opportunity to surprise you. And you don't ever want to put anybody in a box. I remember one time I was canvassing for Greenpeace downtown and I stopped this guy with no shoes on. He pulled out a black card and donated $100 a month, right? That slapped me in my face, right? That slapped my whole face. I gave him a pitch. I never felt so shitty afterwards, right? I gave him the pitch like, he ain't donating. Like, oh yeah, we do this. Yeah, you want to donate? He was like, $100. I felt so bad. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to judge people out there, right? You want to make sure you give them the opportunity and give them the same pitch. I don't care if you have no shoes on. I don't care if you are in a suit. You're going to get asked for $100, $200, no matter what. I don't care what you look like. You're going to get the same pitch, right? Because you don't know these people. You don't know what they're going through. And make sure you ask everybody you value that movement. Let's see, where am I? All right. What if somebody says no? What do? You shake them. You give me that money. No, you don't do that. What if they say no? What would you do if they said, nah, I don't got $100, $200?
If they say I don't have $100, $200, well, then you ask for something less, right? It's like, well,
what if they say I can't donate?
Great, go to our website, sign up on our mailing list. No.
What if they say I got to talk to my wife before I make any donations? What if they say I don't donate on the street? I've been scammed before. What if they say, hey, is this safe? And what if they say, I'll check it out online? What if they say, and just walk away, right? Or what if they say, yo, this is really great. What's your overhead? Or whatever. Like, people have objections and acknowledgements and all kind of stuff all the time. But really, there's actually only around like 8 different objections that people have, maybe like 6 or 7, right? Like, the number one is I'm broke. I don't have enough money to donate. I'll check you out online. I've got to do more research. Oh, I've got to talk to my partner. Oh, I donate to too many organizations. Oh, I don't do stuff like this on the streets because I don't support grassroots canvassing. I think you guys are muggers, charity muggers. I hate this shit, right? Or I'm probably forgetting the last one, but people aren't really very much different. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, it's like maybe once every couple of weeks I get an objection that's really different than those ones that I already told you, right? So I have this unique opportunity as a grassroots fundraiser that I'm out there every single day having 30 or 40 conversations and hearing probably, well, my success rate is usually about 70% of people give me money because I'm really good. But I hear a lot of objections, right? And we always shoot to have a 50% success rate, but that means every day you're gonna have 15 to 20 people telling you no for some reason. Even the 15 to 20 people that donate, half of them will have told you no once, the first time, right? Before they donate. But people saying no doesn't mean that I don't have an opportunity to re-engage them, right? It's about tact. It's about being tactful. Somebody's like, I don't have any money. I'm like, you ain't got no money for this? What's wrong with you, right? Like, that's not cool. But I really, when I'm standing out there, I really don't think, like, it's almost never okay in my mind for people to be on this expensive street spending money and not throw something to the kids. You know what I'm saying? But I got to make sure I don't like step out of my own love space to just assume and be prejudiced or whatnot. But I also want to make sure that I don't stop fighting for my cause, right? And I don't stop pushing them. But how do you push them without, hurting their feelings, without making it tense, right? How do you push them in an inspirative way? And it's called a response cycle. It's what we do. So first, somebody says the reason they can't donate, it's an objection. You always want to acknowledge that objection. You don't want to just be like, forget that, you need to donate, yada, yada, yada. Remember, this person objected for a reason that is true to who they are, right? And if you're working with empathy, you got to speak to that. So if somebody says, I'm broke, I'm like, yo, I'm broke too. We got broke people discounts. Don't trip. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't worry. Hey, we got the college student rates. Don't trip, right? Hey, don't worry. Movements are built off of people like us, not the rich, right? That's a way to acknowledge them and that quick, right? to where you acknowledge their concern, you've identified with them, and now we have to transition back to me trying to get them to support. We do that with what's known as a yes question. A yes question. It's a question that causes an affirmative response. It can be affirmative response like a yes, or it could also be a no, like like you don't want these kids going to school hungry, right? No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Or hey, I know you know these issues are important, right? Of course, right? So you always want to do the acknowledgement and the yes question the same, like it's one sentence, or else people will interrupt you because you just told them, hey, I still need you to donate. And they're like, oh shit. And their job is to tell you, wait, I just said no. I just said no. So you always want to do them together. Hey, don't worry, we got broke people discounts, but I know you know hip hop education is important, right? Yeah. And as soon as they say yeah, boom, I'm hitting with what's known as a power fact, right? And that power fact, it's really hard to cut me off if I start talking about brown babies not having, equal opportunity, right? So this is what you're trying to do, is controlling the conversation 101. It is. It's like, how fast can I get this person to get out of their heads and their wallets? And how fast can I get them back into this conversation about how important this is? Because I just told them a really brief synopsis of the issue. I didn't really even dig into how the painful and all the hurt and the anguish. So I want to give them a fact about what's going on, but I also want to make it powerful. I want to make it powerful by relating it to what I do in my nonprofit. So for example, 1 in 3 Black men will go to jail who are born today if trends continue. That's a fact. That's a power and the way I make it powerful is to relate it back to the work I do. So what we do is we go to schools and we show these kids their worth, their values, right? We show them how to stand in their own power, yada, 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 right? This many kids go to school hungry, you know what I'm saying? So this is why we need you. This is why we need you, because we're growing food and we're directly feeding these babies. That's powerful. And nobody's going to interrupt you and say, oh, but I remember I said couldn't do $100, right? And so you hit them with that powerful fact, and then you wrap that up with a strong ask. Now, an ask is, can you donate $50? Notice how I cut it in half? Can you do 50 to 100? That's an ask. I want to make it strong, though. You make it strong by giving them that inspirative bigness, that taking from the donation, the micro, to the saving the world bigness. So hey, 1 out of 3 Black kids will go to jail if trends continue who are born today. We need to invest in platforms that are going to show these kids their worth and make them resilient in the face of white supremacy. Strong ass. So I need you to donate whatever you can right now, so we can get in the way of these school to prison pipelines and get these kids being the wonderful activists that we know we need. How about 50 or 100? You see how that ass was a little stronger? It was like, damn, you're like, oh shit. Damn. You know what I'm saying? You want to hit them as hard as you possibly can. Again, you acknowledge their concern. I got to talk to my wife. Man, don't worry. If you bought 8 cups of coffee this month, your wife's not going to divorce you. And your wife supports stopping white supremacy, right? Yeah. And right now, right now, Black kids have 50% less art classes in school. That's why half of our classes are taught for free, because we don't turn down brown babies. So I need you to do what you can. If your husband don't like it, leave him, but stay with us, donate, and let's make sure these babies can create, inspire their own selves and find out how strong they are. How about 25? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So whatever it is, it's just how you do it. It's just this methodology. It's a structure. It's just skills. This is nothing special. It's not that Coffee special. Coffee learned skills that were written down by other people that taught me how to do this, right? It's the only thing that was special is that I believed in myself enough to stand on the street one day, enough to do it, enough to realize that I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else can do this too. If you can get down all these stop skills, you'll stop 30 to 40 people a day. If you can get your pitch down really succinct in a problem, solution, victory, and a strong ass format, and practice it and work it to around 60 to 90 seconds, you can make $200 to $1,000, any 6-hour period in any major street in front of a Starbucks, period. You just can. Like, I literally think I'll never be broke again. If the worst things in the world happen, I can go get $1,000 by the night in a pinch. Like, just talking about what I need. I don't even have to have a movement, you know what I'm saying? Because people will rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's 100 people that'll pass you on Haight Street that will love you. And if you had them the chance, they would be your best friends in life. You know how many like soulmates that pass us every single day? You know what I'm saying? We just need to be on the street and they'll rock with us. So you don't have to have any movement other than what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? Stand out there in your own space. It does not matter what you talk about. It really don't matter if it's a nonprofit or for profit, right? It's guerrilla marketing. Get your biggest fans out there, right? Go meet your soulmates for real. They'll rock with you. So we've now hit people with a response cycle. They say, yo, I can't do $100. Don't worry, donate as much as you can, because I know you with this on the issue, right? 50% of kids don't have art classes in brown neighborhoods. Donate what you can right now so we can make that change. These kids can hear their ancestral drums through their work and then start investing in themselves. How about 50? Oh man, I'm way too broke. Don't worry, we take between $1 and $1 million, all right? And I know you know this is important, right? Yeah, right now, white supremacy is the thing that is bombarding these kids with nothing but depictions of stereotypes that is causing them to sometimes live their self-fulfilled prophecies like I did when I was 16, robbing people in the hood, right? What saved me was hip hop. So invest in this platform. Do what you can. Make an uncomfortable donation that's relative to you so we can make that change and get these kids the pedagogy that's gonna save them. How about do 10? Do 10, 20, it's all good. Most people will do that. And I've done a de-escalating set of response cycles. I can do 3 response cycles for every objection that people give. And the reason why is because I started at 100 and 200. It's not too bad to be like, okay, if you can't do that, do 50. You can't do that, oh no, just do 20. Just be taking $20 and $1 million. If it gets to the point where it's really at the end, I'm like, yo, my acknowledgement becomes this. Hey, we spend money on shit we don't need all the time. I drink whiskey occasionally, right? But I know you know that real talk people need to start stepping up, right? You see how it's a little bit more pointed? My first response cycle is really chill. It's like, yeah, don't worry, we got broke people discounts. My last one's like, yo, we spend money on shit we don't need all the time. All right. So it's also escalating in my like reality with them. I'm like, I'm trying to walk you through this. But at the end, at the third time, there's reasons people donate. Sometimes you can see they're broke. But if they're broke, I'm like, don't trip, go to the website. Homie, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because in the heart of it, we're trying to organize. But I've also been in situations where people are like, and I'm like, really? You know what I'm saying? My response cycles get a little different. You know what I'm saying? And your response, it'll be the same structure, but they can be formatted for them needing to get this work. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I know you knew this. You know, people are like, I got to do research. Man, I know you knew this was a problem. Black people dying before you met me and 20 years ago. I know that, right? You know it's time, right? Yes, question. Good. Right now, less than 1% of people in America donate to any causes. Do you think we're gonna make it like that? No. And brown organizations get 50% less funding off the rip and have 79% less savings. We need you. That's why I'm standing in this oppressive ass neighborhood today, getting yelled at and cussed at to find you to hope that you're gonna give me something because I'm a cooler store than any of the other stores on this street. How about take a chance on a Black man and a Black nonprofit? Donate between $1 and $1 million. If you're gonna try for anybody, you should try for me. Sometimes I talk to people like that, right? It depends on their smugness or whatnot. But there's many ways you can do a response cycle. And the point is to always be honest with you, because people are gonna get activism when they see me standing on the street wearing an end white supremacy sign. Some of that some of that is gonna be having good educative conversations. And I don't need everybody to donate, right? You don't have to give me money for us to be cool. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know, I know people that have it, and I just say, hey, but then go to the website because they're really not comfortable donating on the street. They just had fraud, right? I don't expect them to get comfortable. And so I'm not gonna roast them for not donating, but I do roast people if they're like, this is right, you know, or whatever. But yeah, stay true to your power, stay in your own space, and be unapologetic. If they want to have a conversation, if they want to speak to you, that's great. If they don't have time for it, that's also great. If they want to be assholes, then they're also going to get activism as well, right? They're going to see something that these affluent neighborhoods are not really used to. A strong, strong Black man standing out there with a smile on his face, unperturbed by being called the N-word, are getting yelled at and still being so eloquent that I could say something that they literally have never even thought about before that'll wrap them up. And I'll say it in a way where they're like, damn, this dude didn't placate my authority. Wow, I messed this dude up yesterday. He said white supremacy doesn't exist. He said, let me explain it to you. What I was like, sir, right? It's like a 60-year-old white man. I was like, sir, I really don't have time for this. Like, I just need to talk to people. He's like, oh, you don't want to talk? I said, sir, my job is to get 30 people a day that will support my movement, not debate with you. He said, well, I said, fuck you. Leave me the fuck alone. Get away from me. That's what I said. And he went like this. And he stood there for about 2 minutes in silence while I literally said, fuck you, get away from me. And I started saying, hey, talking about white supremacy to other people. And he literally, and somebody stopped for me. I'm talking to them. He was literally like this for 2 minutes before he literally walked away. He could not believe that I wouldn't talk to him. And he couldn't believe that I just said, fuck you. Like, I'm not out here for you, homie. I'm out here for 30 to 40 people, right? 20 people are going to get education and they're going to learn about us. They're going to go to the website because I told them they didn't have to donate in a good way that's still building community, right? Because you don't have to give me money for us to build community. It's not just about money. It's about networking, right? But 20 people did donate and they're going to love us too and they're going to come together. But all those people saw an empowered Black man that ain't taking no shit out there that day. You know what I'm saying? All of them did. There's people on 4th and Hearst. When I come back there, they sit at the Pete's Coffee. They're like, yo, I love seeing you here. It's entertainment, right? And it is because they see something they're not used to. They're used to people asking them for everything. They're not used to people telling them the truth that they should just break bread, right? Just fuck it right now. You know what I'm saying? And you make more when you stand in that space. So really, I have this unique opportunity to stand out there for 4 days a week, 5 days a week sometimes, hearing the same 8 objections over and over and over again, over and over. I even hear the same jokes. Like people, oh, I ain't racist. I hate everybody equally. You know how many white men say that shit to me? Oh my God. And they all think that they're original, right? I hear the same jokes all the time. I hear the same thing. We are very similar. The human experience is so similar, y'all. I got to tell you. But I have this unique opportunity to hear the same 8 objections every day. So that means that I have the same unique opportunity to get my response cycles to be so on point. And I don't even change them for anybody much anymore. I might like think of something really cool and then change up a little thing because it makes me laugh. You know what I'm saying? But that's just it. Like, it's always new. So canvassing is just skills. I'm just trying to push that to y'all that anybody can do it as long as you go out there and you have a formula that's testable. It is just skills, and you can make a whole lot of money from that. Yeah, let's see. Where am I? I just kind of freestyled 3 pages of my notes. Yeah. But yeah, you know, my experience in canvassing, it's the reason that Hip Hop Exchange looks like it does, right? If I'd have started Hip Hop Exchange trying to get grants and stuff, like, I don't know if I'd have a shirt that says "End White Supremacy." You know what I'm saying? Foundations are mostly white male. They're mostly white. They're mostly male run. And it's this weird paradigm when I'm trying to fight for Black culture. How do you quantify culture, right? Like, I was writing this grant the other day and they said I had to have a racial equity statement. I got pissed. Like, why the fuck do I have to write this 3-page equity statement? Because y'all messed up. Y'all messed up, not me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it. I was just living. I was so mad. Like, I was so mad. You know what I'm saying? But there's these hoops that we have to jump through. Grassroots fundraising and meeting your soulmates out there on the street, that allows you to not need to step and fetch it in order to get your money. A lot of people, when they think about canvassing, they think of it as like, oh, I'm out there begging. I don't beg people for nothing. I go meet my soulmates and we rock. You know what I'm saying? I literally we meet 50,000 people a year and we rock with them. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's what it's about. If I didn't have grassroots fundraising, I would have never been able to raise $250,000 before I got my 501c3 status, right? I couldn't get a grant before I got my 501c3 status, right? You know, you can't get a lot of stuff before that, but I can get my soulmates before I get a 50. I don't need a 501c3 status to get my soulmates. And that's the important thing, right? You don't need to get, you know, some white man in a foundation to be like, we need to get this whole thing to be good for everybody, not just, you know, the able-bodied, right? There's so many people out there that will rock with you, Bree. They will give you money just off the rip because they're freaking pissed. Another thing is we stand in the most white neighborhoods ever. The more racist the place is that I stand, the more money I make from people there that hate those people. You get that? You know what I'm saying? It's just how it works. You know, it's like the more I get called names or the more people yell, the more money. Like this lady called me a nigger 4 times on college in Alcatraz Thursday. I had another lady who yelled at us saying that the sun was man-made and it caused the 5G cell towers. And then she called me a Marxist Lenin. It was coming out of her, right? And you know, I'm there with trainees, and trainees are like, "Oh, this lady is a problem." Me, I'm seeing dollar signs, right? Because what makes people support me? When they see what I'm going through. What is better way to see what I'm going through than, yo, I'm just a black man trying to find my soulmates, and this lady's calling me nigger, right? I'm like, white lady's calling me nigger, white lady's calling me nigger. I yelled it. All of a sudden, I got 5 white people rushing to my aid. Yo, leave him alone. You leave him alone. You don't talk to him like that. It's 2021, right? Now, as cathartic as that is, right? As cathartic as that is, do you know how much money those people donated to us after that? I make hella money when people call me names. I fundraise off that shit for the rest of the day, right? Oh, I love it. You got to understand, it's about power. And often when somebody calls me a name or says, get a real job, people get mad as if they've taken my power. They haven't, right? They haven't. Oh, get a real job. I just spoke at Tulane last week, homie. What have you done? Yeah, get out of here. Who wants to talk to me about white supremacy, right? You know, people are like, people say whatever they want to say. I don't feel disempowered. I actually have been through this stuff so much, I know how to make money off of it because it's all about skills. And every opportunity is an opportunity to open somebody, to make sure they get their defenses down so they want to see if, hey, we could vibe. So when somebody says they see me getting called a nigger, I got 30 instant friends, right? Maybe 5 of them have the gumption to run over, but I just made 30 friends. I might not ever talk to them, but they're like, that was wrong. And they might have 30 conversations that night with their family about how that shit was wrong. That's the activism of standing on your soapbox on a corner, just being who you are. It's so important. I've raised $4.5 million from doing that. I've employed over 900 people from my community from doing that, right? Hip Hop for Change has the highest retention rate of any grassroots street team that I've heard of at 5.5 months versus the industry average, which is about 3.5 weeks for grassroots work, right? Because people aren't talking about polar bears and shit in the Arctic. They're talking about environmental racism in our backyards, right? And that's a stronger space. People getting their ancestral drums a lot faster talking about, you know, lead and fruit bale than talking about a fucking polar bear, right? And not like, you know, we don't like polar bears. Literally at our environmental justice summit, the executive director of Greenpeace on our stage said, how do we get Black people to care about polar bears? And I was like, yeah, Davy D walked her down.
Start caring about Black people.
Yeah, right? And it's like these people, sometimes, you know, we're more segregated than we've ever been in this nation, right? We're more segregated than ever. 70% of white people don't have a single person of color for a friend, let alone a hood, you know, cisgender Black dude like myself, you know what I'm saying? And that's why people grab their babies. But when they see me getting called a nigger, they're instantly, the people who would have grabbed their babies will come and rush to my aid. I don't know whatever is going to be the catalyst for change, but if we don't go out there and try to find our soulmates, right, it's going to get a lot harder for us. If our job in our nonprofit is go talk to some white men in the boardroom to try to start it off, shit, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather stand on the sidewalk and talk to 30 really cool people. To be quite honest, I'd make more money probably off the rip faster than if I try to start through grants. And that's the efficacy, you know what I'm saying? I raised 26 grand the first 7 months being out there. The second year we raised 183 when I got my first 10 coworkers. And then the next year we raised 360 something, and then 580 something. And last year we raised 909 grand during COVID. Some of that had to do with Black death. And I've never been more mad at $100,000 coming in real quick in my life. It's just a shame. But that's what grassroots fundraising has allowed us to do. We're now writing grants. We got 60% of our grants fulfilled last year, and we still have our grassroots team. So the game is just doubled. Not only that, but we've got 25,000 people on our email list, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're out there in these streets. We got people coming to our shows. We got people learning about the history and the co-optation of hip hop and white supremacy and patriarchy and all, you know, learning about what it means to be an activist and why we stand out there. We've touched so many people. And this is all for me being like, fuck this. I'm gonna start a nonprofit. And I had a clipboard with a piece of paper and I started off with 30 conversations one day. That's it. And I went out there every single day talking to people, and I raised so much money that I'm like, what else am I gonna do now? Like, I don't even know what else to do. You know what I'm saying? We raised so much money. We're employing people. We're doing hip hop. We're feeding people. You know, like, what else am I gonna do now? I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Where am I going? Am I going to work for Greenpeace again? What am I gonna do? Work for the for-profit? I'm stuck. I am stuck with my people now because grassroots activism and the same grassroots work that Medgar Evers did, that Rosa Parks did, I'm stuck. It got them too. They put their lives in it. I'm stuck. And that's what it does. I've employed 900 people, you know what I'm saying? And they've learned skills that they're gonna take with them for the rest of their lives, that I see them on Facebook using for their events, their shows, their careers. You know what I'm saying? I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I write letters of recommendation for people. You know what I'm saying? I just spoke for the Zellerbach Family Foundation. I just went to the SF Symphony and we're about to do hip hop with them. Like, when did all this shit happen? I don't even know. Grassroots fundraising. You know, people like, people are like, damn, Kafir, you know everybody. So I've been standing out on street corners for 20 years talking about activism. You know what I'm saying? And it works. I don't know any other way people would have given me a shot in white supremacy world, but my people put me on. And right now I'm hood famous, you know what I'm saying? And slowly but surely the work right now, Hip Hop for Change is getting me on a national stage. So grassroots activism allows you not to code switch. It allows you to raise $200 to $1,000 every single day you want to, any day of the week, for any cause that you want. It is a natural part of being marginalized body. You know what I'm saying? A marginalized human to have to be collectivist, right? To have to talk to your people. All it's about is your belief in if you can do it or not. A lot of people don't think canvassing is easy because they think, how am I gonna stop hella people? It's easy to stop 30 to 40 people in 8 hours. It's hard to stop everybody. I don't have to get famous and get rich and have 1 million fans on Insta, right? I just like rapping for like 30 to 150 people at a time. That's cool for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, feel me? If I get up to 400, I'm living good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, great. So number one, be your biggest fan, right? And realize that canvassing is something we all can do. So I got a little homework for y'all in closing. I would like y'all to figure out if it's your movement you're working on right now, or Bree, if it's your goal of trying to make things more accessible, or Uncle Don, whatever's the most pressing issue or cause in your neighborhood, you can write a 60 to 90-second pitch around that. You can make it problem, solution, victory, strong ask oriented. This is gonna be recorded, so you can go back and see my pitch earlier in it if you need reference. But just a problem, make it really succinct, make it really macro, then tell them the macro solution, tell them what you plan to do, and then have that strong ask. And I actually want your strong ask to be just like I said, and ask them for all your money. You don't have to go out there and do it. All right, that's not the homework. I would never say do anything. Do whatever you want to, but I think that you should write that pitch and look at it. Just write it, look at it. Maybe even memorize it one day. You know what I'm saying? And if you ever get the gumption or the gall to want to try that shit, there's 200 different sites that everybody in the Bay Area that does grassroots street team fundraising they stand at. If there's a Starbucks, that's one of the locations. Right? You know what I'm saying? If it's a Starbucks on a public sidewalk, that is one of the locations, right? If it's a Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, it's probably one of the locations too. Spend 2 hours standing in front of Dolores Park, telling that pitch to everybody. You might change your work, your profession. You know what I'm saying? It's like spend a couple minutes on 4th and Hurst in Berkeley, or Chestnut and Steiner in San Francisco, being unapologetic and saying that pitch. Say it 20 times. Fuck it, try it. You might have some different realizations about your potential. You know what I'm saying? It might be the start of something beautiful. I can't wait to teach my 2-year-old daughter how to get that money out there for anything. I'm so curious to see what she's gonna do with this game. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it. I don't know if I could proselytize more about grassroots fundraising and street teaming, but I hope you get what I mean and why I'm so inspired and why people assume that I'm just fucking crazy to be able to stand out on a sidewalk for 15, 17 years straight. People are like, you still do this? I'm like, yeah, bro, I was out there yesterday, homie. I'm the executive director and the founder, and I'm still gonna be out there getting this money, teaching these people how to get this work. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. And I just appreciate having the platform to speak to this, y'all. Anybody have any questions? I'm sorry, I just talked for like an hour and 20 minutes. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Everybody unmute. Everybody unmute. It's a party now. I still can't hear anybody.
I don't know what to say. I'm just absorbing it all. I forgot there was even a meeting today, and I'm so tired, and I'm just like, I don't know what most of what you're talking about, but I just love it. I love the vibe. I love the things that are actually like catching. I cannot imagine having that level of like audacity because I'm so used to, because as a disabled person who can't work, I'm just like a drain on society. So like when I'm trying to approach people for the things that I need, the way that I have learned is the only way that people will pay attention to me is if I make myself small and I only ask for the bare minimum of what can be useful without actually being what I need. And so I literally cannot imagine approaching somebody on the street and being like, literally, I need everything you fucking have like right now.
Right now. Yo, Bree, let me tell you this. My first day canvassing for Greenpeace, I went out there my first day and I was like, hey, do you have a second to talk to me about the environment? Hey, excuse me, do you have time? And then my trainer kept saying, stop using open-ended questions. I started hitting myself every time I said open-ended question because it was just like so programmed into me to make, like, I'm in this white neighborhood. I still have trouble looking eye contact with white women. You know what I'm saying? At that point in time in my life, I get you. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? We are taught to just be, please, is it okay? Man, it took me that long to get to where I am today. So it's about experience, you know what I'm saying? It's all about reprogramming and unlearning that white supremacy that we've just been ingrained with. It's a survival thing, right? But we can also not only just survive, we also gotta realize that sometimes survival is learning how to just say, man, fuck all this. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes thriving is survival, you know what I'm saying? And that's what becomes addictive about canvassing. Yo, you come out with me one time, Bree. You know what I'm saying? Like you have been taught to be meek and ask for the least amount, right? That's why you get a pitch, you write that shit down and you memorize it and you just say it. And that way you don't have to be like, what do I say? What do I say? I know what to say. I got it written down. I memorized it in 60 fucking seconds, right? And in the pitch, I memorized, we need all your money. We need all your money. People are like, oh, all my money? Yeah, all your money. They get that. Like, they get there's nothing wrong with me saying I need all your money. I do. Shit. I mean, I do. You know what I'm saying? People can't be like, that's wrong. It's not wrong to need stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just, how do you say it? And do you have the experience of putting yourself out there to see how well received it is? Remember, we're talking to our soulmates. We're not talking to opposition. I just said in white supremacy. So I'm not talking to this racist dude. Matter of fact, when I said talk to me about hip hop, I had to talk to a lot of racist people that did not believe there was white supremacist depictions in hip hop and that corporate controlled entertainment is racist. And it was so hard. It was defeating to spend there trying to validate yourself. It's not until I said, yo, talk to a black man about white people. And then the only white people I talked to were the coolest white people. You know what I'm saying? They were so cool. And we were like, man, giving each other hugs and shit and talking and whatnot. That's what it's about. It's about being unapologetic. You know what I'm saying? So when you get the experiential moment of learning, of seeing how it works and the efficacy, you're like, oh shit, lies my teacher told me. You know what I'm saying? You're like, damn, oh my God, I can get as many friends as I want to. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, people, they believe the same. Oh, people just gave me money. I remember I was selling my CD. It cost me 25 cents to burn the CDs. I took my last paycheck at Greenpeace and bought a CD burner. And I was out there going, 5, 10, slide a scale. It wasn't until I was like 20 bucks. And somebody's like, here's 100, I fuck with you. And I was like, that guy gave me $100 just because I told him who I was for real. It becomes addictive. And it becomes efficacy. And then having that efficacy becomes more addictive. You know what I'm saying? And the change that you make becomes even more addictive. I see babies breakdancing and shit. What am I supposed to do now? You know what I'm saying? Like you see like people get more access, you'd be sold. You'd be sold. And that's what grassroots activism does. You go out there, you start paying 2 18-plus-year-old young folks who want to learn about gardening, you give them a pitch and tell them to go on 4th and Hurst and talk to people. You'd be like, damn, I got $4,000 extra in my fucking coffers this week. We just raised $6,500 this week, 4 days on the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that every single week. And I'm gonna keep hiring more people. We were making $45,000 a month before the pandemic with a 35-person street team. You know what I'm saying? And we were having free Wednesday meetings, paying them to just rah, 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 and talk about activism and shit. I was sitting there learning like, this is crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? Hella diverse folks. You know what I'm saying? Queer folks checking cis people that ain't learned this stuff before. And you know what I'm saying? People talking about decolonization and fucking trans lives and shit. And you know, we got a bunch of people who never even heard these concepts, but want to get them, into activism. But we got this the most diverse street team of people from so many different backgrounds, and it's just a synthesis of just brown, marginalized struggle, and these empowering people sharpening their spears and being like, I'm raising this much this today. I'm talking to this many people this week. I'm going at it. They never start like that, Bree. You know what I'm saying? We never start like that. So enjoy that. Enjoy that newness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the human experience. It's not easy one. It's not just fun. It's not just, this or that, but enjoy that newness. Like, I remember the first time I came, it was novel to me. I was like, hey, it's my first day, but I'm gonna try. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I look back on it, but yeah, this right here, me talking to y'all about this, is only from experiential history of knowing if you just come at them unapologetically, you get so much money. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how to go back to what I used to know, because I know I can get way too much money and too many cool homies. Every day I stand out on the street corner in the whitest of white neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we can do anything we want to. So yeah, enjoy if you try it out, literally go in any corner, enjoy that newness, and just, yeah, you'll be blown away by how much support you get. It'll become addictive.
Oh no, can you hear me, Catherine?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So one of the things that's been rocking with me through this whole conversation is that this idea that really what I'm doing is talking about what I need. Because there's something about, like, in capitalism, in colonialism, there's something like, it's like I got to make sure I'm figuring out what the other person needs in order to make it so that I can then give them something that is going to meet their need, so that then my need can be met.
Yeah.
What you are bringing is this, like, really direct, like, how authentic, how, like, clear and unapologetic can you be with who you are, how you are, what you're about, and that there are soulmates. I mean, I love that shit. Like, that we got soulmates out here, and they are ready for us. And just like, are we willing to take the risk of vulnerability, the risk to put ourselves out there and show up? And that's just like, that right there, it feels like a full turn in some ways.
It is, and again, it's just, do you have the ability to put yourself in that first experience so you can see how beautiful it is? You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. It's interesting, the same reason why that white man was amazed that I cussed him out and told him to get the fuck out of here, right? I think he assumed it was my job to speak to him. You know what I'm saying? I think he assumed that I was out there and he was the people I was trying to, like, I think he thought it was my job to do something for him. And a lot of people like don't get it. It's like, I'm not out here on 4th and Hurst for the people on 4th and Hurst. I'm always out there for these kids to learn hip hop. That's my that's my base. That's who I am, have my fealty to. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there for them first. So if you get out of line out here, you're gonna get this work. Because my work is not being nice to you specifically. My work is to be a human being. Part of that is telling the right people, fuck you, leave me the fuck alone. All right, and protecting my safety. And mostly I don't have to do that, but I don't mind, you know what I'm saying? But most of it is just to put myself out there. That's the thing. The community that you're out there, you're canvassing, that is not who you're fighting for. You gotta remember that. You're going out there, it's your Robin Hood theory. I go to neighborhoods where they have our money that's been built off the backs of our ancestors. They need to give our shit back. You know what I'm saying? I also, it's not my job to teach them. It's not my primary job to teach them. It's just a secondary job. You know, I want to make it easier for, you know, brown kids to walk by these white folks without them grabbing their babies every other time like they do with me. You know what I'm saying? I tell them I don't eat babies. I'm full. Your baby's safe. You know what I'm saying? I do. I straight up tell them that every single time. I don't change that line for nobody, and it always fucks them up. I like throwing mind bombs at people's heads. But you know, the thing is that once you realize that you're not out there for them, then that changes your idea of what your job is, right? My job is to liberate funds, right? So if you rock with me, we're gonna have a great conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'll also teach you how to be more anti-racist. You know what I'm saying? I'll teach you more about stuff. Great conversation. My job is to liberate funds, support, or social capital from you, right? If you're not rocking with me, my job is to show you something, right? You know, hey, come talk to me about white supremacy. I have a group of people walk past me, don't say nothing. No words for the Black activist standing in a white neighborhood? I guess y'all don't love me as much as I love y'all. It's okay, I'll give you a second chance. It's all good. All right, y'all, hey, talk to me about white supremacy. They're gonna get this fucking work. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get this work. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, hey, come help me fight white supremacy. Oh, I'm good. White dude says, I'm good. I know you're good, but Black people are dying. You got 2 seconds for them babies? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, they're gonna get this fucking work. All right. And I have so much fun out there because I get to give them this work. I get paid, you know what I'm saying? You don't know how many times I get calls as the executive director. What are your canvassers? I was telling your canvasser that they need to talk about Jesus, they need to come to Jesus, and they disrespected Jesus. And I'm like, well, don't you think mentioning Jesus to Black people who have a diaspora rooted in Christian colonialism, don't you think this might be a little offensive? Well, they're supposed to respect. Nah, bro. You know, and they call me like, what do you think you're gonna get from me? Like, what do you think you're gonna get from the executive director? I don't need you. I don't need you. Matter of fact, what I need to do is for my people tell you what fucking time it is. You know what I'm saying? So you never feel comfortable calling back here again like that on some bullshit when you should have been hearing what this brown person was saying to you for 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what, y'all, it's so freeing to go out there and meet your soulmates. Most important thing. It is so freeing to go out there and meet people that generally like we feel like we can't come together with. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, damn, I got so many like rich white friends now. You know what I'm saying? It's so cool. You know what I'm saying? It's also so freeing to get all those resources. But it's also freeing to give people who are fucking stupid the business. It's freeing to give them that work. It's freeing to tell them what time it is, and God damn it, it is necessary for them to never feel comfortable coming at, like after you talk to me, you'll never feel comfortable speaking to a random Black person paternalistically like that shit again. You know what I'm saying? So that's what my job is also too, to show these people something they're not used to. A strong person who doesn't care about their fragility. That's also work too. And it's so addictive to be in that space as well. That's another thing that you'll start to fall in love with when you go out there and do grassroots fundraising, and you realize that the people you're raising funds from are not your base. It's not who you're fighting for. Can y'all tell I love my job?
Yeah, I can tell you love your job, bro. This is like the power of your presence in this, the power of this invitation, because it really feels like an invitation into some deep dignity. And I love the like bringing this to like the civil rights movement as well, the like Medgar Evers, the Rosa Parks, the like put it into the like put yourself out there. And the only way to do that is to like recognize what you're fighting for, who you're fighting for, and like to do it with that level of dignity. Because there's something about like, I feel like the projection is always, you gotta humble yourself, you gotta make yourself smaller, but you gotta do all these in order to like be
and it's
able
hard.
to like find the
It's
resources.
begging, you know, yeah. Sorry to cut you off, man, but yeah, it's always that. I always get that, especially trying to hire and all that and talk to people about it. It's like, oh, it's such a hard job. I ain't begging nobody out there. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you out there talking. Like, people have so many ideas about how difficult, how hard it is, and what it is to canvas, and how defeating it is, and how yucky it feels. I'm like, I talk about it like this because I want us marginalized people to know how empowering it is. Like how I've worked with people who are introverts and they become the most empowered introverts ever. I didn't say they become extroverts. No, they become the most empowered, hustling introverts ever. You know what I'm saying? One of the most powerful canvassers I ever worked with, he was just like, let me inspire you for a minute. That's his stop line. See, like that was just him. And he raised more money than anybody I ever met in my life, bro. Let me inspire you for a minute. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Donate. I was just like, he was so like soft spoken, and he was just, people believe him. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. I'm eccentric, right? You know, I do that because that's my way I deal with my insecurity. You know what I'm saying? That's how I canvas. But you canvas the way you are. You come as you are. What sells people is when they see who you are, your authenticity. You ain't got to be no different type of person, no special type of person. All you need is stop skills, a 60 to 90-second rap, and to be honest and unapologetic. If you're honest, and the more unapologetic you are, the more money you'll raise, the more soulmates you'll meet, the more resources you'll get, the more social capital you'll get, and your movement will always benefit. Whatever you're doing will benefit. The people in your community will benefit from seeing how you rise from it. You know what I'm saying? It's why grassroots activism was sparked, not by what's the guy? God, the guy who did the seatbelt law back in the 60s. The study that got us to wear seatbelts. He was trying to run for the Green Party all the time. Ralph Nader. They say Ralph Nader started the grassroots movement, right? He did start door-to-door canvassing, but he didn't start grassroots fundraising. That's like saying Kenny G started circular breathing, bro. Come on, stop that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here. But yeah, we've been doing grassroots fundraising since we've needed to be in politics, just we needed to move the social political needle in this country. We've always done it, right? We have so many movements like Cesar Chavez, right? La Raza to like look to, you know, we have movements like, you know, look at Chinatown, look at the history of them trying to hold on to their communities, right? Through white supremacy, grassroots movement, right? Look at all the grassroots movements that happen, you know, all the uprisings, like it's all people just coming together. The thing that we also need to know is that we can also get money and kind of survive and use grassroots organizing to kind of survive capitalism a little bit. It doesn't make me a capitalist that I run a nonprofit, although nonprofit is a capitalist business, period. We're not going to stop capitalism with the master's tools. You know, I know that. But I can use this capital to raise a organizing structure that'll teach people how to burn the system down, how to put the body on the machine, right? That's all it's about. We're not outnumbered, we're just out organized. And that's why, if you want to make change, organize your thoughts in a 60 to 90-second pitch, right? Organize your ass to get out on the sidewalk one time. You know what I'm saying? And organize your understandings about what grassroots organizing is and about what's hard about it and what isn't hard about it, so you can know that you can do it. And you'd be surprised. You'd be so surprised at what you can do. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. So much. I feel like, you know, I'm going to be writing my 60 to 90, that's for sure. I'm gonna write both. I'm gonna have to play with that because it feels like a really like grounded invitation, and I would like to invite all who are watching this and who will be watching this later to really take on that invitation. That feels
absolutely.
whether you go on the streets or not, just to know how to say it.
Yeah, absolutely. Say hello. Hello. This is who we're fighting for right here. Oh, there's a little fly. You see the little fly? This is Khalil, my daughter. This is why I work so hard. Anyway, so yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. I gotta go take this little girl outside to play now. But yeah, thank y'all so much for giving me the space to record this. Please share it around. I just want people to know that they can build what they want to. So yeah, right on, y'all.
We're sending this one out, and we're sending it out in the format that you have just taught us and inspired us to do so. Thank you so much. I want to invite everybody to go to hiphopforchange.org and make a donation to come to Decolonization for Dreamers. Put hippieuniverse.com and make a donation, because we need this shit. We are out here transforming
all the money,
the world. All your money.
All the money.
Everything. Give us all of it. Your money, your time, your energy, your brilliance, your service to the world.
Your firstborn child, your dog. I need your mama's email. All right, we need to get this work. All right. Anyway, peace, y'all. Peace and love, y'all. Be smooth. All right, bye-bye.
Thank y'all so much. We'll see you at the next one. Wait, are we doing T for A something? There is a thing. Like an hour or so. Yeah. If you want to join us in an hour, we'll be doing some work connected to our work in the garden here, led by the Tuning for Armageddon folks. Yeah. Okay. Blessings, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us, for absorbing this. Look forward to how it grows. Okay. Who's next? You? Who's next? We need you. You're next. I'm not even asking. You're next.
Everything. You want everything. We want you to be next too.
That's right. We need you to be next. Come through.